there, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and if you have been following along with the TpT Bootcamp series, then this video is going to be part 4. So at this point, if you have been following through with steps 1 through 3 on creating the resources, researching the topic, and you are now ready to upload these resources onto your Teachers Pay Teachers store, then that's what this video is going to be all about, is how to write out keyword heavy descriptions so that way your resources can be found easily on Teachers Pay Teachers and even Google, and then also utilizing standards to use with your resources when applicable. English is hard. So before we dig in, if this is your first time seeing me, please make sure it's not the last by hitting that red subscription button and the bell down below so that you are notified of new videos on my channel every week. And if you like this bootcamp series and you like what we're going to talk about in this video today, please give this video a thumbs up because it does support me and this channel. And if you have any other questions for me, please leave those down below in the comments. I love having discussions with you. I love hearing all your questions and being able to provide answers right then and there. And when you ask these questions and offer suggestions for future videos, it essentially helps me help you in the long run. So the easiest way for me to show you how to fill in these descriptions and standards for your TpT resource while you were uploading, I am just going to show you right now what that uploading process looks like in my own TpT store and with the resource that will be going live essentially like by the end of this video. So that way you just see right then and there what that process looks like, and that way you can learn from that as well. So we're just gonna go ahead, move over to the computer now. But first, real quick, do you need some inspiration for creating resources for your TpT or Etsy shops? I'm not going to gatekeep this information from you. I have been exploring the world of scavenger hunts, escape rooms, and digital resources thanks to Think Tank's Easy Escape Rooms. This course will be able to help you make over 38,000 different escape room combinations that you can use for your classroom or for any digital resource that you want to sell on Teachers Pay Teachers or Etsy. The investment that I made in this course has been returned and then some. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and sign up today so that you can go ahead, start creating these resources and start selling products. So as you can see here, I have opened up my TpT shop. So this is just my product listing, which I have been interchanging like products and resources, and it's basically talking about the same thing like throughout this boot camp. So TpT says product, but I personally like to use the term resource because the whole point of Teachers Pay Teachers is offering up resources for other teachers. But those are interchangeable, but they mean the same thing. I don't know if you have picked up on that or not. But what you will see here when you do go into your product listing page and you want to upload a new product, or if this is, you had just signed up for an account and you are having to do your primary free download, which that is a requirement for TpT, is that you do have to offer your very first product as a free resource. So just note that if you are brand new to TpT, your first resource has to be free regardless. But what I'm going to show here is we're going to go to add new product. So you're seeing live in person a resource I'm going to put up, and by the end of the video, it's going to be live in my TpT store and ready to be found and searched up and people to say, is this a resource that could benefit me? So what I am going to do here is you choose a product type. So if you have like worksheets or you have like PDF forms that go into a link, obviously we would click digital download. And then if you are wanting to do a lesson video, then you would click on video as an option. And then for all of the Google fans out there, if you're wanting to select a file either from Sheets or Slides or Docs, and then from your Google Drive, you would click on Google Drive for that. And then also Easel, which I've talked a little bit about in the boot camp. And like I said, I'll leave the video somewhere in the cards if you are still curious about Easel or you want to go through the training through TpT on Easel. Obviously, you would have to upload your Easel resources the same way you would upload any resource on TpT. And then the final option would be bundles, which obviously if you are creating resources on TpT that they can go together. So one resource that I'm going to show you through here is something that eventually, as soon as I create more of the similar resources of what I'm about to load up, I want to make it a bundle. So bundle meaning multiple resources together at a discounted rate on TpT. But for this particular resource, because I am downloading it as a PDF form, I'm going to do a digital download. Now, I say PDF because the form for like terms of use, answer key, that's in PDF form, but the link will go directly to a Google Sheet doc that I have created. But we're going to click on digital download and it'll go to this page here, which is the title. Now, for this particular title, when we've done the research and keywords and we saw in the very beginning of the video and research, digital resources was a popular product. So I want to be sure that within those keywords, if I am able to create a resource with the high searching keywords down below, then I want to be sure that is inputted somewhere, especially with the title and in your description. Try to fit it in as much as you can. So for this specific resource that I am uploading to my store, it's one of the digital secret code activities. And because I've been doing like a lot of science and social studies, digital secret activity codes, but I've also delved into like musical composers because fun fact about me, I went to college to be a music teacher. So that's why you also see like Chrome Music Lab links and all sorts of other like music resources as well. So I'm a teacher of all trades, it feels like. So, but for this specific product, resource, see Chrome Music Lab links. You already know, especially those of you that like follow my channel because of my Chrome Music Lab tutorials. There they are. I have done this particular resource on Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Wow, that was really country. Anyways, so we want the composer's name here and then straight line down. I'm going to type in digital resource. And then I'm also going to say the specific grade levels. So 5th through 8th grades. So this particular resource that I created with the secret code activities, I feel like would be appropriate for like upper elementary, middle school general music classes. So I'm going to make sure, right, most important, Mozart, second important, digital resource. And then also in the title, what grade levels or what ages. So grade levels would probably be a little more appropriate for a TpT, just saying. Now, for files, because I said this was going to be a PDF, I am going to select the files. I'm going to go on to desktop. And then here we go. This is my PDF. So I have a terms of use. And then also this is where the link to the activity is going to be. And then the answer key. So all is there. It's going to upload. Now here comes the fun part. So the previews. So in the previous video, we talked about how to make those thumbnails and video previews. And I'm happy to say that you finally get to see it in use. So what we are going to do is we are going to put up our video preview what we worked so hard on. And this is stuff I've already uploaded and saved on my computer ready to go. So it is gonna take a little time to do all that stuff. But now I have this MP4. This is the video, so you see here. So we're gonna upload it. And the best part is you can download your resources, by the way, up to 4 gigabytes, which is a lot. It's a lot to share on here. So we want that video preview on there, all right? It gets more teachers intrigued and interested in what you have to offer when you do videos. Now, of course, if a particular resource you're not able to do preview videos, that's fine, that's okay. So now you do have an option. You can auto-generate thumbnails, which I don't really recommend doing. And then obviously we're gonna upload them now on here and not later. We wanna make sure that, you know, this is a real product and we're not gonna be sketchy about it. So main cover. So we have this, which I know is not labeled the way it's supposed to be, but this is the main cover. And this is what, when other teachers are researching something like this is the first thing that they see, is going to be this picture here. So we're going to upload that as our main cover. And then our thumbnails, I have part of it here. So this is one of the pages. And then we have part of the reading excerpt. And then we have the final page, which is just a screenshot of the secret code on here with the puzzle. So again, nothing is interactive here. It's just the pictures, so that way teachers can have a good sneak peek at what it is that you have to offer. And then I put the video on there because it's a digital resource. I screen recorded it and I was able to show on the video, this is how the puzzle works. So now, once all that's uploaded, we go to description. Now, I'm just going to copy and paste what I have already typed out on here, but we'll go over it a little bit. So, I have here on the beginning, do you need an emergency substitute teacher activity for your students, or are you looking for a fun, interactive way for your students to learn about Mozart for your general music classes? So again, I'm using the keyword Mozart on there because it's about Mozart. And then this digital activity resource. So digital resource is perfect for your 5th through 8th graders who are learning about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So again, titles and descriptions match the same. Not only that, but in your description, you want to set the expectations in your description. Because if you're like, this is a resource that you can use with your students, it doesn't really tell other teachers specifically what it can do to serve them in their class. So obviously what we're also going to see here, so upgrade your Mozart lessons and make it into a game where students will practice, so specifically reading comprehension, and then using text-based evidence to support their answers. All right, so they learn about Mozart's life as a musician and composer by decoding a secret cipher and secret code. And then I put on there great self-checking reading comprehension activity to keep track of one's own progress, because it is programmed in that specific Google sheet that if they insert the incorrect answer, the screen will turn red. And then if it's correct, it'll turn green. It's self-checking. So I also specify this resource uses Google Sheets for students to make a copy. So I'm also like giving directions also. So they make a copy and that each student can figure out the secret cipher and secret code on their own. So I've programmed it where it's not like they all get the same link. And if there's one student that's way ahead, that the other students are just watching that student go ahead and they're like, haha, they're doing it for me. They get their own, completely on their own. So now, obviously, I'm also going to include you know, what does this all include on here? So directions on how to do the activity, the reading passage, and then 10 questions, blank answer squares, and then obviously every time the student gets a correct answer, the secret cipher will start appearing in their correct spot. And then when all the questions are answered correctly, students can decode the secret code and reveal the final answer. And then I also put on there the answer key is provided. So obviously you want to set the expectations and you want to be clear on what it is in your resource that you want to have to offer and what your resource will include. Now, I also put on the bottom, make sure to check out these other digital activity resources for your next emergency substitute teacher plans. So, like I said, I've been following through on creating digital resource activities. So even though they're not related to music, I do put them on there in case maybe a music teacher sees these resources and their bestie is like a science teacher. And it's like, hey, I got this digital resource from this teacher on this website, and she has a thing about the solar system. Like, you should go check that out. So, you know, it's there if you need it. And this is obviously where they are linked into the resource. So that way other teachers can click on it and they'll go directly to that page with that resource. And how you can do that is you can highlight a word and then you can click on this link button, and whatever word it is, you just copy and paste the link onto here, and then it will add. So I thought that was really cool. And then you can also use the blank lines here if you want to break down your paragraphs, makes it for easier reading for teachers if you'd like. You can obviously use bullet points, you can use bold, italic, underline, and then I have seen like emojis used on there as well. You can use emojis if you desire, but make sure you use keyword heavy description. So like it matches the title with the description, you know, everything matches on that end. And then you also just want to make sure like you describe what the resource is for, instructions, and how other teachers can use this resource and how it can be beneficial for them. So next thing, so pricing, which I know there have been several of you from the first video that have said, you know, is TpT like oversaturated? Like, I just feel like a lot of teachers are offering like really big bundles and like only for like $2. Like, how can these teachers who say they make 6 figures a year on Teachers Pay Teachers, how are they doing that if they're only offering their resources for $2? And what I have to say is, in your research, you also have to make sure that this particular resource that you are selling, that it is fair to similar products. Now, obviously, if this is your first upload on your TpT store, you're going to have to click on free resource. And there'll be a prompting on there that says, hey, this has to be a free resource. You have to click on free resource. But since this is a digital activity resource, I have been charging all of mine for about $3. And that is just simply because of the labor and of course the interactivity, and realizing like I had to do some research, I had to add links, I typed out the questions and making sure that all the formatting is correct so that way no students can like cheat on it, all this other stuff. So time and effort, and I just feel like that is fair just considering the technology that it's used. So obviously if you need to go back and say, what other like prices are other teachers doing? Like, you don't want to cheapen yourself, but you don't want it to be so expensive that like teachers are like, I could just get this resource for cheaper and it's basically the same thing. So obviously that's something that you'll have to do your research on. So tax code here. So obviously we are doing electronic download. So we have that here. or you could do other digital goods, so no physical media. So obviously that's up to you in terms of like what other resources you are wanting to do. Like, is there audio? Is there a download? Is there a video? So now here's the important part. So grade level. So obviously we want to stay true to the title, 5th through 8th grade. And then this particular resource, I'm still going to put it under music because of where I've said this resource can be perfect for music teachers. So arts is going to be one of the first things. So we got other music, we got instrumental music. So it's going to be under music. And I'm going to put down activities because it is an activity. It's true. It is a Google app. So I'm going to put down Google app. And it is an internet activity. But as you can see here, we got assessments, and then by TpT sellers, for TpT sellers, clip art, DBQs, flashcards, fonts, parents, principals, games, you know, we got homework, and we even have Montessori, which is my personal favorite. Y'all already know, or maybe you don't. I'm also a trained Montessori teacher too. Like I said, I am a teacher who wears many hats. So printables, projects, research, you get the gist. Now, custom category. Now, this is something that you have to do in the settings part of Teachers Pay Teachers, but it's basically how you categorize like your resources on TpT. And I've already done this ahead of time as well. So obviously this is a digital resource activity. So we are going to put that down here. Now here comes the fun part, or however you want to view standards. So education standards. Now, if there are at least Common Core standards in your resources, or you are able to provide that Common Core status, standard, excuse me, in your resources, then obviously more teachers are going to be willing to take interest in your resource, because if there is something that does line up with a Common Core standard that they have to follow through on their lessons, you know, the better. So I am still going to do Common Core standard, because for these digital resource activities, it does involve reading. So I still feel like even while these kiddos go into their music class, they can still build their reading skills upon reading the passages and answering the questions to help them see if they understand the reading assignment. So we're going to click on 5th grade because that's our first grade on here. And then I already know we're looking at informational text for the specific resource that I have. So we already know, you know, we're going to quote accurately because they answer questions from the text, and then determine 2 or more main ideas of a text. So again, answering questions, explain the interaction or relationships between 2 or more individuals. So, or events, ideas, or concepts in historical, scientific, or technical text. So obviously there are facts about Mozart. And then determine the meaning of general academic and domain-specific words and phrases. So just those standards. And then it's basically the same for all the other grade levels. So we're going to make sure we do that as the same. Now, obviously, this is for my resource specifically. If you have a resource, it's going to be a little bit different otherwise. Which is why I said in terms of like standards, you had to make sure to do your research on this particular, whatever resource that you created, if it does line up with standards. So just keep in mind of that. And then details. So if there is a certain time frame to teach the lesson, you can put that in, although it's not like a big factor in like whether the teacher's going to purchase the resource or not. So I am going to put in number of pages or slides. So there are 3 sheets. And then I did say there is an answer key. And then obviously copyright, so intellectual property rights. So just making sure that you read the terms and agreements of Teachers Pay Teachers, that the materials that you are posting, it does not infringe any copyrights, trademarks, or any other third parties. So making sure that you say, yep, I created this from scratch. This is all me. Or you can select that you have used copyrighted or trademarked materials in my products and it does not infringe. So either you have permission to use these said products or that what you are using it has fair use to it. So this is why usually it's better to steer clear from copyrighted or trademark things and try to create things from scratch as much as you possibly can. So, and then obviously make your listing active. So, and then, to save this as a draft that's visible only to you, uncheck make listing active and click submit to save your changes. So if you are wanting to pause and go back to it later, obviously you would unclick make listing active. But if you're like, nope, I got everything ready to go, I'm ready to upload, then this would obviously stay clicked and then you would submit, as you would see here. So, dun, da, da, da. This is really taking a really, really, really long time. I am so goofy, my friends. There we go. There it is. And it is live and in action and ready to go. And if you want to make it a step further, there is a cool little option right below the price of your resource. You can share the resource right away. So either on your Facebook page or on, is it X or is it Twitter? I'm not really sure, but I like to share it on Pinterest just because, just simply because Pinterest, there's a lot more like live time with sharing resources on Pinterest as opposed to Facebook or Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. I cannot call it anything else. So you just click on the little icon for a resource, and then I'm obviously going to save the cover page of this particular resource. I already have boards, so I'm going to put it under Teachers Pay Teachers on there, and then it's saved, and then there it is. It's live on Pinterest as well, so that if you're on Pinterest and you are looking for a resource like this, ta-da, it pops up. So you would share that right away, and then there you go. That's how you would upload a Teachers Pay Teachers resource on Teachers Pay Teachers. Now look, I know what you must be thinking. At this point in the bootcamp series, you may be thinking, okay, Kelsey, well, I did all the research. I created the resource. I created the thumbnails and previews. And now we have uploaded our research onto Teachers Pay Teachers. Like, that's all I need to know, right? So you said this was 5 weeks. So why in the world does there need to be one more video? Well, here's the deal, my friend. If you are wanting to share your resources right away and you want to keep getting fresh ideas for TpT resources and you want to have regular buyers of your store, then the last video is going to be super crucial in terms of how to keep a regular audience within your TpT store, and also bonus tips that I'm not going to share on there. You're just going to have to wait until the next video to find out. So thanks for tuning in. And I really hope that you will tune in for the 5th and final video for the bootcamp series, because what I'm going to be sharing with you is what's going to help you grow your TpT store to where then you will start seeing daily sales in your shop. And who does not like daily sales in their shops? You know? And if you have any other questions, please, please, please leave a comment down below. So thanks for watching, and I will see you for Part 5.